The new do.
Yeah, how did it go?
In the cold, I'm trying to trying not to get sick, guys. Let's see.
Go ahead, Amy. Amy has a speech about this.
Yeah. By the way, temperature can't get you sick, Brandon. Just so you know.
That looks good, Brandon.
Oh yeah, look clean.
Thank you.
Look, you got your beard lined up. Oh my gosh, Brandon!
Y'all look like I never get haircuts. I get one every week.
Brandon, no, this is a different haircut.
Yeah, he's looking good.
He is looking fly. But let me finish my conversation about weather. Weather cannot get you sick. It's a virus and germs that can get you sick. Okay, so let's make sure we get that all out there. You guys can shake your head.
Okay, Amy. Amy's
thanks
PSA.
for joining us on the Jam. I'm Amy Rutledge alongside John Hansen and Miss Felicia Lawrence.
All right, I got one quick thing. I know we are very divided on a lot of things. We're going to get to a lot of things that divide us as a country. I think I got something we can unify behind. I went to get gum today at CVS, and this was my receipt that they gave me.
No.
Like, what is happening, people? The one thing we can agree on, less paper receipts at CVS. Sorry, that's a real...
Why can't they email you?
I don't know. I was laughing my butt off when that thing was coming out of the machine.
Those have really good deals. They have really good deals in those receipts. You got to read them. Don't just throw them out.
I will.
It's good because we have no trees now and oxygen, but whatever. Anyways, no more science. Moving on. Yes. Some big news coming out of Springfield as questions start to swirl over whether the powerful House Speaker Mike Madigan will keep his position. Brandon Pope is joining us now with the very latest. Brandon.
This is big news here for the Springfield politics. Madigan has held that gavel for nearly 4 decades. It's a very long time. But after coming up short 9 votes of the 60 he needs to win, Madigan has announced he is suspending his campaign for House Speaker. In a statement, he says that this is not a withdrawal. I have always put the best interest of the House Democratic Caucus and our members first. The House Democratic Caucus can work to find someone other than me to get 60 votes for Speaker. Now, I talked to State Rep LaShawn Ford, who backed Madigan along with the Black Caucus in a Sunday vote, and he explained what Madigan's announcement signals to him.
He's still a candidate, and he's possibly working to try to figure out a strategy to get to 60.
Is there an avenue, as it stands right now, in your opinion, to get to that 60?
You know, I don't think so. I think that the handwriting's on the wall that it's probably not likely that he could get to 60, but I think our focus as a caucus has to be unity and make sure that our 22 members are together to make sure that we select the next Speaker of the House.
Now, Ann Williams and Stephanie Kifowit were the other Dems receiving votes with 18 and 3 respectively. Now, tonight, another vote will go down, and the Dems are going to continue to vote until somebody comes up with that magic number of 60 votes. So this could last for a while, and you figure what's going to go on right here is that Madigan, while not withdrawing, is going to still lobby trying to see if he can get 9 people to sway over. But as you heard Representative Ford say right there, he feels pretty confident those 9 are not going to budge.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that, you know, I see the paving on the ground that he was trying to lay and see what else is out there to kind of show the rest of the Democrats that, hey, they're not going to get the votes. You either vote me in or we're not going to have the votes.
So, okay, it sounds like, according to what you're saying, Amy, there's a little bit more that's going on behind the scenes politically that we may or may not know about. Okay. I was going to just say, you know, guys, you know how I feel about term limits. I think it's time to just move over and let some new blood, some new leadership kind of get in there. Almost 4 decades, that's a really long time. And as far, and you know, he's under investigation right now. I am curious as to if that plays a role in his decision to kind of step aside and let some new blood get in there. But as far as that, I think you'll appreciate the sports reference, John and Brandon. I don't think you spend almost 4 decades in Chicago and Illinois politics and not get your jersey a little dirty.
No, okay, yeah, I can see that. No, without a doubt, but certainly his is pretty dirty. his needs some Febreze too on top of that, but he's going to try and stay in power as long as he can. This reminds me of the 1924 Democratic National Convention. Said nobody ever went. I know, but you had two candidates going. And guys, guess what? They went 103 ballots, and the two leaders could never get over the top. So it was a third person that they recruited in the middle of this conversation. A surprise candidate came through and ended up winning the nomination. So that could be the sort of situation we have here. And Brandon, don't laugh too much at me. What are you still doing up with your Christmas shrub behind you? Is it that hard to take that away on January 11th?
On behalf of Christmas Shrub, just you pause. You wait a minute because I still like a little Christmas cheer.
Yeah, she's got her tree still up. Well, hey, listen, I want to keep the joy going into the new year, okay? It'll be down by February.
How's that working?
Joy? All right. Thank you, Brandon.
There's lots of joy. You don't see the joy?
I don't see the joy. Okay. The fallout, more serious news for the coup attempt at the Capitol is very widespread. New Jersey Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman blaming her colleagues for her recent diagnosis with COVID-19. She's a cancer survivor. I believe in her 70s, Amy, you were telling me as well. So certainly not one of the groups you want to be a part of when you have the COVID-19. But she believes she was exposed while sheltering in place. And we've seen video of Republicans not wearing their masks and trying to hand them masks and refusing to do so. So she's blaming them for part of this. Could be.
We should also note she's a cancer survivor too. So she has medical conditions that could put her at a greater risk.
True.
They always have said from the beginning that you wear the mask for the other person. You wear the mask for your neighbor. All right, Senator Tammy Duckworth is calling for the Pentagon to look into allegations that military troops and retirees helped storm the Capitol. If so, she says they should be held accountable under the Uniform Code of Military Justice for going against the values of service. Yes, yes, Senator Duckworth, we absolutely agree. Wow.
And security is being beefed up across the nation as the FBI says armed protests are being planned in all 50 state capitals. Protests are expected to start this week and go on through Inauguration Day. So a lot we're going to see at all the state capitals.
House Resolution 21, resolution calling on Vice President Michael R. Pence to convene and mobilize the principal officers of the executive departments of the cabinet to activate Section 4 of the 25th Amendment to declare President Donald J. Trump incapable of executing the duties of his office.
Yeah, that's the House clerk reading the articles, not of impeachment. That's to try and get unanimous consent for the 25th Amendment. But House Democrats are getting the ball rolling on a potential second impeachment of the president, his second in the one term of the presidency. Insiders say the debate could begin on Wednesday. Not all Republicans are on board, but Democrats say they've got the votes. No indication the Senate would start their trial before Inauguration Day. Constitutional experts say a trial could be held months into Joe Biden's term. So the big question is, should you go through with impeachment? Is that uniting the country? Is that dividing it? Felicia, where do you stand?
Oh my goodness. Initially, I thought it was just in the beginning, just a little bit of a distraction. However, now if they're saying it could potentially prevent him from running for office again, I think it's necessary and something that they should move forward with. And not to mention just doing it for the sake of having the truth come out. The truth needs to be on the record. And this should be a bipartisan effort to hold everyone accountable that could have even lent themselves or their actions or their words towards the insurrection that happened last week. It matters.
It does. And so here's where my question lies. And John, you could probably add some insight into this. They all know what the other person is going to do in Washington. They know what the GOPs are going to do. So are they wasting time by trying to push it forward, even post-election? Because I mean, I agree with you, Felicia. If we're going post-election because it matters, great. Do it if it's going to happen. If they know it's not going to happen and they've got 2 or 3 roadblocks that are absolutely like, nope, then wipe your hands clean and just move on. We got too much going on in this world right now.
No, you mean post-inauguration.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I think normally you do know, but there is a groundswell that is continuing, right? This isn't like any of the other crises we faced over the last 4.5 years where it would last for a couple of days and sort of peter out. We're at day like 5 or 6, and we're still having stories about companies no longer donating to GOP senators. who voted for this, or GOP House members. You have a lot of major Fortune 500 countries saying anyone that voted against that electoral college vote, we're not donating to. So there might be more support than you realize. And this is one of those things you wait to see where the wind blows. Now, the House Minority Leader McCarthy has offered a compromise, perhaps a censure of the president, and even re-examining the Electoral College Vote Act of 1877 that got us in this mess in the first place. Now, if that's something that can help move things a little bit better in your direction, maybe that's a compromise worth looking at. One last note that I'll say is when Republicans say, no, you need to unify the country, don't impeach. You can unify if you all go along with this too, right? I mean, the best way to unify is to make it bipartisan.
Yes,
just saying.
Having accountability in the truth doesn't mean that we are a broken country. If anything, it could possibly lend itself to healing.
But John, I got to ask you because I'm not familiar with censure. If censure is levied, does that prevent him from running again in 2024?
No, censure is
so that's why
this.
they have to stick.
Yeah,
right. So that's not worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta go for the long-term goals, not the short-term games, right?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, we got to get this in, you guys. Eugene Goodman. He is a man that you need to know after last week's insurrection. This video of Officer Goodman went viral, and you can see he is a Black man and the only officer in the area. And he's facing down a mob of angry white men. And you can see the rioters are chasing him right there. That's when he led them away from the Senate floor that he could see. He visually saw that it was not secure, saying he led them away and kept running in a different direction, eventually meeting up with more officers. But I mean, putting himself in harm's way to protect the Capitol, secure the senators. I mean, this man, this is a true American hero. And that leader right there, the leader of the pack, that man is Doug Jensen. He's from Iowa. He has been arrested on federal charges, 5 of them, and fired from, he worked at a masonry company. Justice served.
I watched the video that day that this all happened and watched him. And if you every time I watched it, I was like, props to this guy. Because not only was he like controlling the situation, he had to turn his back and run upstairs. And that, I don't know if I could have ever done. And I was amazed at how well he was like, and then you see him when he finally gets together with some other officers where he takes like a deep breath and he's like, like, okay, I made it.
And the bravery, I got chills just watching that.
Yeah.
A lot of heroes on that day. We'll keep learning about them over the next few days, I'm sure. All right, we'll be back after this.
I'm Brandon Pope, and here is the news you need to know this evening. Flu cases have hit a record low in 2020, according to the CDC, with a sharp drop from 65,000 in 2019 to just over 1,000 in 2020. Experts say it shows COVID-19 is more contagious and less forgiving. After being booted from Amazon's web hosting service and going offline, the right-wing social media app Parler is suing the company, claiming they're being targeted for political reasons. And black boxes have been located for the crashed Indonesian flight in the Java Sea. The search so far has found plane parts and human remains, but no survivors yet. 62 people were on board. Another cold day in Chicago, pretty typical for the winter. John Hansen with the weather update. What's up, John?
Yeah, all right, there you're looking at it. This ain't too bad. We're actually going to be pretty mild by midweek, maybe a chance of snow Friday. But Brandon, we got the national championship game tonight, and in Miami, I got the forecast for your Buckeyes, okay? It's going to be calm and roll tide, baby.
Oh, come on. Come on, Jonathan. How could you? How could you? Well, good thing I have this right here ready to go. It's all about the Buckeyes, all right? All about the Buckeyes today. Oh, wait.
No, I'm cheering for you. After your Browns got the big win yesterday, I'm cheering for your Buckeyes tonight, my friend.
This is the year of Brandon Pope sports teams. I'm telling you. Watch out.
Finally.
Finally.
29 of them to get it going, right?
There's only three or four. Okay? Come on.
All right, Krista, what's up?
I just can't believe that Brandon's not going to be watching The Bachelor tonight. Like, come on, Brandon. Who are you even?
I will be. Yeah. I'm doing both. Split screen.
Flipping channels. Love it. We love to hear it. Okay, guys, coming up, one of the most foul-mouthed Marvel characters is coming back. We've got all the details coming up a little bit later in Trending. We'll be right back after this.
She is one of Chicago's most beloved comedians, yet nowhere near the city these days. Erica Watson decided it was time for a little fun in the sun, and she is joining us now from Jamaica. So pretty.
Yeah, man. Hi, everybody. I miss you all.
We miss you too. Oh my gosh, your background looks unreal. It looks like you have one of those fake backgrounds up on your screen, and this is real.
You know what? I would love to say that this is my home, the entire thing, but it's not. It's the villa where I've been staying and playing for the last couple months. But it's gorgeous. I love it here.
The villa.
So did you escape Chicago because of the cold, because of COVID, or this was just unplanned?
You know what? It's a couple different things. I had promised myself last year that would be my last winter in Chicago because, I'm a single woman living alone, having to be concerned about shoveling the snow and then digging my car out of snow and stuff like that. I was just tired of it. So I said, you know what, that's going to be my last winter. I'm going to find a place either whether it was going to be LA or Miami or something. I'm going to go live somewhere else during the winter months. said that out loud, then I forgot about it. You know, like I didn't really think it could happen, but I said it. A friend of mine called me that's a TV writer. And she said, I've got to get out of the US. I want to go somewhere. And I said, well, girl, if you go to Jamaica, I'll meet you there. And she was like, done. So then I was like, oh, shoot, now I got to find some money to go to Jamaica. And I was so nervous to fly during COVID because I left Chicago September 1st. The plan was to stay here until October 1st, just do a month, write, get my screenplay that I'm working on done. And then when the day before I was supposed to leave, I just started crying. And I was like, what are you crying about? And it was like, I don't want to leave here. I don't want to go home yet. I don't want to go. So I extended 2 weeks. Then I cried again. So then I extended a month. And now I asked for permission from Jamaica to stay here for a full 6 months. So I'll be here till March.
This is the power of manifestation and the law of attraction, because she said it out loud and here it is happening. And look at you, you got your tank top on, I'm wearing a turtleneck.
I'm freezing my butt off. Yeah.
Yes. My hair is blonde now and I got my golden glow. Everyone that sees me says, oh, Erica, you're glowing. When I write people back home or I put stuff up on Facebook. And then of course everybody's like, girl, you like Stella, you getting your groove back.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I necessarily had lost my groove. Well, maybe I did lose it a bit. But yeah, I'm definitely here and dating someone here and having an amazing time. Yeah,
okay.
girl. Yes.
Pause. Listen, dating someone.
Details.
So you met the person while you were there. Give us something. You got to give us something.
You know what? I met him last year when I was here. I sponsored I hosted a trip to Jamaica and about 60 people came with me last July. And I met him then. And then we kept in touch. And then when I was coming back, he was like, yeah, come on. And then it's been wonderful. He is absolutely amazing. I won't say his name and give too many details. Right. So I kind of want to keep some of that to myself. I'll tell you private. I'll tell y'all off camera.
Okay, that's the reason she didn't come back, Amy.
Yeah, no, I'm like, it just wasn't the sunshine. There's a lot more reasons.
No, it wasn't the sun. It wasn't just the sunshine.
We are 100% here for your glow up. This is your moment. I mean, you are glowing, and
you look amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you, y'all.
Really well.
Thank you. I've lost weight too. He keeps me busy. Like we walk in the mornings, and he's a younger, very active guy. So
I'm gonna cry. Stop.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, he's very active. You know, and yeah, I'm getting in shape.
Good for you.
Listen up, everybody. Miss_Poundcakes. Hey, that's her Instagram.
Yes.
You gotta follow Miss Erica Watson, because clearly she's out here doing it. She's doing it up big. So we will stay tuned to your story, young lady. You keep living it up.
Yes. We're gonna live through
and I love y'all, and I miss you all. Thank you.
Miss you too.
We miss you.
Although I do love gravy, so who am I?
Who doesn't love gravy?
All right, so this story is a really clickbaity one, but I really enjoyed it. Okay, so we might have to lose a second of time. Now, doesn't that make you want to click on that article? Let me explain why.
Absolutely.
Earth's rotation has its variations. It speeds up sometimes, it slows down, which sounds very alarming, but we're talking about very minuscule amounts of time. And on Sunday and a few days last year, the day was 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59.9999 seconds. So not quite long enough. You get enough of those in a row, and all of a sudden, you are short or long on time. So every now and then they have to add a second, and it really, last time it messed up servers across the world. They just took an extra second at this random overnight time of the day. I guess somewhere in the world it's
overnight time of the day.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I'm saying. So, but this time they're going to have 1 second taken off at some point in the near future. So I wish we could choose where that second was where we're taking off. So Amy, which part of your work day or life day, any part of the day, would you take away a second from?
8 p.m. bath and bedtime. Take it away.
1 second shorter. Worth it. Felicia?
Oh, man. Okay, any plank, any push-up, any cardio, anything on the treadmill. Man, I ask you to do a 60-second plank, that becomes the longest 60 seconds of my entire life. Anything like that, I want shorter. At least feel
that's
shorter.
actually a really smart. That's actually a really smart one because that a second actually makes a difference. I was
Yeah,
going to
wait
say
till you
one
guys
of
have
our.
kids. You're gonna miss the plank time. Trust me.
Girl.
I was going to say like one of our Zoom meetings, but those go on for so long anyways. A second isn't going to make the least bit of difference in the world. But I will absolutely take one less second to do that. I don't know if Pope
Are you
or Chris
secretly
are
telling
there.
the producers this?
Wait,
Yeah,
I
no,
would
no,
add
I'm
in.
not.
I would also add in Monday morning emails. Like, you know how you got all the emails from the weekend, and it's like you go through and check and catch up.
I do them on Sunday.
Krista, what are you taking a second out of the day for?
Probably a commercial break or like a Hulu ad or, even a commercial break during the jam.
Yeah.
All right.
Pope
I'm finished with all of you people. Commercial break.
Second out of the day? I don't know. That's a tough one. Probably commercials. Yeah. Like those ads that come up on Hulu.
Okay. All right. Very good. It's a good conversation we all had here.
I want to talk to y'all in 10 years. 10 years.
It doesn't make a difference.
You can never be that ready, Amy. Never.
You know that sound. It is 6:30 on a Monday evening. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Amy Rutledge alongside John Hanson and Miss Felicia Lawrence. Welcome to the Jam.
I was about to say Happy Tuesday, and no, we didn't even get that far.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, wishful thinking. It's called wishful thinking.
If you just say it every day, maybe you'll just be gone on Friday. We'll be like, well, she warned us. We had 4 days to figure out she was on the wrong day. Smart plan, Felicia. I like it. All right, we got more on the more from the Capitol on the coup attempt there. 2 Capitol police officers have been suspended, one for taking selfies with rioters and the other for wearing a MAGA hat during the incident. Another 10 to 15 are reportedly being investigated. A lot of people I see sharing this being like, oh my gosh, inside job. And I know they're investigating that, of course, and they're looking to do it. These particular suspensions seem to be infractions that are so obvious, but not necessarily leaning necessarily to any sort of inside job yet.
Yeah, I got so frustrated when I saw on social media there were a bunch of pictures of officers stopping to take selfies with people either inside the Capitol or outside. But like even the outside ones were really close to the front doors and windows. I was like, come on, people.
Yeah, remember when I said these were some of the nicest officers that I had seen in a long time? And clearly the video that we're watching here is a little jarring, certainly. But yeah, to see, it's enraging to see that these rioters and violent protesters were treated so humanely in comparison to how Black Lives Matter protesters have been treated. That's an issue.
And these officers, their fellow officers, one was murdered and another one was nearly squeezed to death, and a lot of others were injured. So, and maybe they weren't in the part of the Capitol where it was. Yeah, and maybe they weren't in the part of the Capitol where it was happening, but certainly they all have earpieces. They know what's going on. It's just so silly. I'm glad that they were suspended. I imagine they might be losing their jobs. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay, well, Twitter's stock price tumbles after President Trump was kicked off the social media platform permanently. It dropped by 12%, wiping $5 billion from its market capital. All I have to say about that is don't worry, they'll bounce back.
All right, Felicia, that's good.
Not worried about social media at all. All right, Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, could lose his membership from the New York State Bar Association. It is looking into Giuliani's role in inciting the mob that raided the Capitol. So should he remain a lawyer in New York or not?
I think this is interesting.
Let's have trial by combat.
Yeah, right? And not only that, but like all the superfluous lawsuits that he did and purposely gave information he knew to be factually wrong to many state legislative bodies. I do hope, there are processes for this. And I know that politics gets run into everything. What is going on there, Felicia? What noise?
My computer literally just shut down, like the screen went blank. I'm over here press something, button something. The screen, for whatever reason, just went blank.
You had this look on your face, and it sounded like a.
But I'm with you.
But continue on.
All I was going to say about Giuliani is there are processes to take care of this. I don't want politics to get involved. Let these processes play out. The judiciary has been the one staple that has held us through in this democracy. So let's follow the letter of the law with these dismissals of lawyers and such like that. Oh, it's my turn now. Okay, upwards of 15,000 National Guard troops are descending on the Capitol ahead, of course, of President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration next Wednesday. The FBI says it has credible threats of armed Trump supporters planning to cause some trouble. Even the Washington Monument has been closed over bomb threats. The D.C. mayor has asked for more funds to help boost security. Yeah, it's so weird because she doesn't have her own National Guard in Washington, D.C. It's really strange.
It's so weird.
The national has to be, I know the district rules are weird. And then they got to bring in the Secretary of the Army for this. I would love to think that they have figured out what is going to happen and are going to be completely safe. But that certainly has people worried.
Yeah, and,
I'm worried.
And, so people understand, there are the Capitol Police, there's the local police, there's the sheriff. It's the municipalities that have to operate within that jurisdiction are insane, and it's confusing for us laymen. I would hope that the people doing the jobs know how it all works, but I can see where things get difficult, right?
And think about all of the security and Secret Service and undercover folks that we don't see on a big event like this. So it's like, this is a large scale, a large operation. I am slightly concerned. I mean, I guess at this point, you just got to keep moving forward because you don't want to let these rioters and these violent protesters, you don't want to let them win.
Yeah.
However, I mean, I'm concerned.
Do the inauguration with Erica Watson down in Jamaica. I don't really care. Just get it away from
Yes.
a populated place.
Okay. Well, there's some more uproar on the internet, and it's all over Vice President-elect Kamala Harris's photo, her cover photo, that is. So here is that cover photo with Vogue and Kamala's team, rather Vogue and Kamala's team agreed on. Here's what they agreed on, right? Well, here's the photo they ended up putting on the cover. This one. This shot was supposed to be used as a small photo on the side of the article, but it became the cover photo. I gotta say, the left one looks a little bit more presidential and a little bit more like a cover. The right one, not bad. The left one just looks a little more polished.
Mm-hmm. We're bringing Brandon in for this too. Your thoughts, Pope?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The right one looks like it came from a college journalism magazine. It is a little out of focus. It's got bad framing. The way they did the background is really this isn't Vogue. This isn't Vogue. Now, people got to chill. It doesn't matter what she wears, right? I don't care about that. Whatever she's comfortable in. It's about how do you properly capture the first African-American woman to be vice president. That second cover doesn't do it for me. It's low quality and it's sloppy, and I'm not a fan.
Well, okay, so let's explain too also. So she is a member of AKA sorority, right? And so that is what's depicted in the background behind her. She's got the pink and the green, and those are the sorority's colors. They mean a lot to her. It means a lot to a lot of people. So I think that's part of the reason why they highlighted, and we're probably looking towards some of those photos. Now, when I saw these photos, because I don't understand, I'm not part of that sorority. It doesn't, it's not the same meaning. And I looked at the pictures, and here's what I thought. I was like, man, I really like her face and like the way she looks in the green and pink picture. But the Vogue photo, the other one, the gold, the champagne toned one with the blue suit, certainly looks more polished and more uniform. But I don't know. Which person do I like more? I would actually buy any of them because she's on the cover. But I do appreciate the fact that she seems more like the girl next door who could be my friend, who I could call and have a chat with, in the one with her green and pink, and she looks more presidential in the blue suit. They both are gorgeous pictures. She's a gorgeous woman, but
part of the controversy is that she and her team say, or at least it's leaking out, that they had agreed on the picture that we were looking at on the left, the one that you guys are saying looks a little bit more presidential or vice presidential, whatever the case may be. But it's a magazine, right? You go for a shoot, you don't get to tell them what photo they're using on the cover. This is an editorial decision, and they made an editorial choice with this cover. Some people think that the pose that she has or the face she has in the one on the right, the one that some people don't like, is like a little like off the cuff. Maybe that's the editorial choice they were going for. So you can disagree and criticize, hey, you chose the wrong one or this or that. But Brandon, it's an editorial decision. You're shaking your head at me, but like that's what magazines do. They are trying to promote a message of
the quality could have been better. And I do agree with that. Can we just pull up the outfit? I know, B, you said you don't care that much about outfits, but this is what I thought she would have worn, what she wore on election night. She had the white suit on, and she had the satin silk top underneath. It just is presidential, but it also has this regalness to it about it, which is what was missing in that Vogue photo. Like we don't fully capture the moment. Yes,
because that's not who she was along the campaign trail. She was the girl in the chucks and her blazer, and she's a lawyer, and she was with Biden. Like that just. That is them getting her ready for election night. That's a team of people.
I can appreciate that. I can appreciate the laid back look. Like I love the chucks. She wore Timberlands too. I love that.
I wish the lighting was
better. I still feel like there was a better way to do it. Just a better way to do it.
Let me say this.
The moment and how we feel.
I've consulted a lot of the women of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, love me some AKAs, and they love Brandon Pope. And the majority I've spoken with, aside from our boss, Sophia, are totally against this cover. Like it's not because of that's because they put the pink and green there. The way they did it, the background they didn't even iron the curtains or whatever they used in the backdrop. It looks very sloppy.
I would have never noticed that.
It's funny because sloppy.
I did see a lot of people like, what did some like 15-year-old kid shoot this? By the way, the photographer is a 26-year-old like photography phenom who did shoot this photo, and he did Beyonce first.
Yes, he did.
And he tweeted out the blue suit picture. So obviously it wasn't necessarily his first choice, or he would have tweeted out something else. And Vogue went with the more laid back, I hate to say, but relatable picture, because I feel like that's what the message is. But
it's a pandemic. Maybe they wanted to be a little bit more down to earth. And also, maybe they just wanted us talking about Vogue a ton before people go buy the magazine. And look at that. They accomplished their goal. So big at
the end of the day, I was happy to see this woman of color in her position and on the cover of Vogue. That's what made me the most excited, outside of anything
100%.
she's wearing or whatever lighting you want to say. That doesn't take away from her accomplishments or the role that she plays in our community, the Black community, or what it means to the nation and what it represents. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, she has so many sides to her right now. You can argue so many different things.
Defund Vogue. Defund Vogue.
It's a magazine. It ain't too funded, Brandon.
True. Very true.
Very true. All right, quickly before we get out of this segment, it won't be just Joe Biden being sworn into office. His rescue dog, Major, is getting his own inauguration ceremony hosted by the animal shelter where he was adopted. The virtual event will celebrate his journey from shelter to White House, as well as raise money to help other rescue animals find their forever homes. Pretty awesome.
What a good boy.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta stop, otherwise, you gotta stop showing dog footage, otherwise Krista is just gonna go crazy. Hey, KG.
That account is the best. Their dog puns are on point. The oval paw fist, so good. Okay, coming up. We've got confirmation of a new celeb couple. Step aside, Harry and Olivia. No one cares about you anymore. People are jealous. I'll tell you all about it in Trending in just a bit. We'll be back.
I'm Brandon Pope with the news you need to know. A rogue staffer has reportedly changed the bios of President Trump and Vice President Pence on the State Department website, saying their terms ended today, but their terms don't end until January 20th. A University of Chicago student, doorwoman, and convenience store shopper have been identified as the victims killed at random in the shooting spree that spanned Chicago's South Side and Evanston over the weekend. The shooter, 32-year-old Jason Nightingale, is also dead. Only about 6,000 CPS students returned to in-person learning today. Another 71,000 are expected to return in February. The CTU has pushed back heavily on the city's plan to bring in-person instruction back for students and teachers. And in Virginia, Governor Ralph Northam is considering a year-round school schedule to make up for lost days during the pandemic. He also thinks that it would help students who have fallen behind because of remote learning. But could an idea like this actually work in the city of Chicago? I'm interested to hear your thoughts, Amy, since you have kids in school.
Well, so could it functionally work? I don't know the inner workings of the school district enough to say yes or no. Should it work? 100%. I mean, the amount of social emotional learning that these kids have lost, like I feel like my kid's probably a year younger emotionally than he is, educationally,
Wow.
even from not being around his friends. He's not having that interaction. I mean, think about like a 10-year-old, 10, 11, 12, middle school. Those are pivotal years for kids to learn how to interact with other people, other humans, how to deal with conflict, how to deal with loss, how to deal with fights, how to deal with, things, struggles. And you do it in school. This is where we learned all these things. This is how we learned it. We brought it back to our parents and they guided us, but we learned because we were thrown into a school situation. So I 100% hope this happens. My kid needs to be back in school. They need to be learning. They need to be with their friends. They need to be getting advice from other adults.
Yeah. Okay. The mom perspective right there. Just adding, I think they did try out year-round school. I think they tested it out on a few CPS schools. I'm not sure what actually came of that or if they're still doing that. But that was a few years ago. I know they tried it out. And they would have like 2 weeks off and then they would go back. It was kind of weird how it was done. But I think the whole purpose of it was what Amy just explained. So you don't have that, what do they call it? Summer lag.
Summer slide.
It's a better word.
Summer slide.
Yeah. So
And I know the conventional wisdom would to be deferred to the mom here because she actually knows what she's talking about. But about half on the three of us that don't have kids, let me disagree with you, Amy. No, my only concern though is like summer is the fun time to be a kid, and you're talking about social things. I guess that if we're all good by June or July, fingers crossed. Don't you want them on baseball teams? Don't you want them at the swimming pool to still enjoy a little bit as like a kid? Like, I mean, it would stink to miss then your summer to make up time and then go right into the next school year. I understand what you're saying.
So you understand
time.
The way they had those schedules, it's the year-long track schedule. A lot of different states do it. They still get the same amount of time off. It's spread out differently though. So it's like one quarter, 2 weeks off, another quarter, 2 weeks off. So the exact same amount of time off of school, but it's laid out differently. So that doesn't go away necessarily. And you know what? My kid still plays soccer and basketball during the school year.
I'm just romanticizing chasing butterflies and those bugs that glow up, lightning bugs, and playing ghosts in the graveyard, riding your bikes, that sort of stuff. I mean, come on.
As a kid, I would hate this. I would hate this if I was a kid. Because what about summer camp? What about those cool summer activities, and these kids are organized, okay? They can rise up against the system, all right? So
you're only talking about what you experienced as a child. If you never know that, you don't know what you're missing. So take it away now, and they're just going to think this is the norm.
It's a good thing we don't give kids rights.
And deprive future generations. Wow.
Yes, I'm all about depriving my children.
Wow, we'll be back. Amy won't, but we will.
Alrighty, I'm KG, and here are my top 3 trending stories tonight. People Magazine's reigning sexiest man alive. He's off the market, everybody. I'm so sorry. But Michael B. Jordan, he posted this photo to the gram with his new boo, Lori Harvey, aka Steve Harvey's daughter. And Twitter's in their feelings about this couple. Half of them are sad that they don't have a chance with Michael B. Jordan. The other half is like, how did Lori lock down this man? All I gotta say is this is a hashtag hot couple alert. All right, moving on. Big Marvel news today. Deadpool 3 is in the works and it will be part of the Marvel universe. Marvel's president confirmed that Ryan Reynolds and his foul mouth will return and the movie will be rated R. Can I get a preach emoji?
Preach.
Yes. Deadpool is one of my favorites, I gotta say.
I love
the Marvel
Deadpool.
films.
Yes, love it.
Yes.
And the rated R adds to it. Sorry, kiddos. Okay, lastly, Ken Jennings. He's come a long way from his Contestants Day on Jeopardy, but he starts as the first guest host since Alex Trebek's episode, and here's what he had to say.
Honestly, I'm with the audience. I don't want me out here. I want to see Alex out here. I know exactly how they feel when they see anybody else behind this lectern. But, you know, there are tens of millions of people who love this show. We love this show. Alex loved the show. I'm just happy to fill in and help out. It's unimaginable. Like, I still can't believe
All right, Ken. I mean, he did have some tweets recently resurfaced that were insensitive that he apologized for. But do you guys think that Ken Jennings is the right pick for, you know, this fill-in for the time being, or would you rather see someone else? John, I see you nodding.
I mean, he's a charming guy. They really lucked out that their most prolific winner is also a charming person on camera. I don't really know, though. I'd say get a professional host in there. Let me know where to send the resume. And yes, exactly. And I'll do both jobs. I mean, I will move this ladder and books to LA. Don't you worry. I will be on the jam. But the little Jeopardy too wouldn't be so bad.
I do love Ken Jennings because he loves the game so much, and he,
Yes.
you know, a little bit of self-depreciating humor, and just seems like a very nice guy, and I appreciate that. He's missing, of course, I understand he's not a TV professional, but he's missing the finish that, you know, Trebek has, obviously, and a little bit more of the astuteness and the upper crust, I think, that I liked about Alex, you know?
I got a lot of upper crust.
You have so much, too much crust.
So I think we're saying similar things. I was going to say the charisma that is missing for me that I think Alex Trebek had, but we do not need to even attempt to try to compare anyone to Alex Trebek. Like, own category.
Totally.
So if we are going to flip it completely around, since we just talked about Deadpool, I love the humor that Ryan Reynolds is able to bring to that character. If someone can make me laugh, I'm game. John, you make me laugh too. We would all vote for you. You were the obvious choice. That's why we didn't spend time putting your name in the hat, John.
But you're busy. You're busy.
You're taken. We already have you.
Oh, that's sweet.
But
Thanks,
I think Ryan
KG.
Reynolds too.
Yeah. Yes. We'll be right back.
Still love you, John. Still love you.
I know.
Wow.
Meanwhile, we
I
got Mike
appreciate it,
Manuzak with a ponytail joining. Hey, Mike. Yeah, look at that. That's real man's cut.
Yeah.
Man bun, man bun, man bun, man bun.
You're alone on that chant, Felicia, just so you're well aware.
Love a good ponytail on a dude. I had a rat tail when I was like in second grade. I know.
Oh,
it's
wait,
like
so
the
did my
weirdest thing.
brother.
You
Wait, wasn't it like the Hanson brothers that had it where they'd have the one that was braided down? Did you have that, John?
Oh,
like
the-
hair was short, but you had the long
Not
braid?
my brothers, but the actual band.
Like the
Hanson
actual
Brothers.
band, yeah.
My brother had a rat
Yes.
tail, and the neighbor across the street cut it off.
Oh, Marshall, let me
No,
do
that's
it.
just mean.
Yeah.
We need pictures of this, John. We need
We've
Martha.
tried to find pictures. I think my mom burned them all, and rightfully so. She was not proud of that.
Amy.
Nor should she be. But Pope, you look stylish. You go to the barber once a week. Is that normal? That's a lot.
Once a week and a half. Sometimes if I'm lazy too.
Yeah. My
But
husband
yeah,
does
you
the
got to
same
keep this thing. Got to keep this thing nice and clean for the ladies. You know. Got to
I can
keep.
tell you,
and for-
My
for
husband goes
TV.
weekly. My husband goes every
It always
week.
comes
He's
back to the
bald.
ladies.
Yeah.
It's pretty
and
costly.
he's bald. I love it.
We got about 30 seconds left. We got about 30 seconds left. Could you take down that tree behind you, Brandon? I mean, it's already unplugged. It's
Just knock it
flat.
down.
Like, it is the saddest tree I've ever seen.
If Ohio State loses tonight, I'll take it down. How about that?
That's it?
All right.
Well, what if they win?
Not
Should we
really.
keep it up? For how long?
I'm keeping it up. It's staying up. Ohio